Welcome back to TommyBoxing, and my oh my, Moses Itauma has just done it again. Knocked out Jermaine Franklin Jr. with one of the cleanest uppercuts I've seen this year. I just can't even describe it, seeing that uppercut and Jermaine just go blank. And Moses had to wait until the ref came in, and before the ref even came in, Moses was waiting. He had to throw a good hook to put him down for sure, even though he was already out on his feet. What an absolute masterclass in the 5th round, and I love this. I love seeing this from Moses, and there's just so much to talk about. We'll get into the performance in a little bit, but the main focus here is today is what's next for Moses Itauma. More specifically, who's next? Frank Warren and Moses did chime in about what's next, who's supposed to be next for Moses. And Frank was like, we want him back in July. He brought up he's the number 1 in WBA and WBO. And he's like, we have these fights and maybe this because of this fight and stuff like that. You know, maybe it could be Usyk next after the Rico fight, but that's in like late May. Then there's a Caballero fight, but I believe he just fought, or he is going to fight. I believe he just fought. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that could be happening. I'm very, very, very excited about it. Now let's focus on what happened this past Saturday afternoon in my time. This really showed his discipline. Yes, I didn't do a prediction, but I said to myself and I said to my friends and family, I was like, I see Franklin out within 5. And when it got to round 5, I was like, oh God, like this is awesome. This is great for Moses, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, we got a competitor. And that's what Jermaine was. He was a great competitor. This was a great test and a great stepping stone for Moses Itauma. And I got to give credit to Frank Warren here. Really, really matching him very well with every stepping stone. Dillian White, Jermaine Franklin. You can see where they're going to go. They're going to keep getting name status, but also, you know, still bump up where it's not too much of a gap, but it's not too little of a jump. You know what I mean? They're getting a sweet spot every time. And Frank Warren really does understand styles make fights. This is a great style for Moses to go against, with Jermaine just being absolutely tough and a machine. And Franklin really started to realize, you know, I'm not going to counter his counter because he's way too quick. I just got to throw punches and bunches. So when he started doing 3-4 punches at a time, he had a little more of the momentum, honestly. He realized that from time to time. He didn't capitalize on it, which is a shame, which is fair enough. You know, Moses is such a dominant boxer right now. Insanely humble too, by the way. That he couldn't figure out. I kept saying to my wife, I cannot believe how fast Moses Itauma is. He is lightning quick. He capitalized on the body shot, straight punches, really focused, and especially the southpaw. I'm a big proponent on always shooting down the middle. What I mean by that is 1-2s and uppercuts. Don't take the scenic routes. What I would coach. What I mean by that is don't initiate with a looping shot, because you guys, you can see me going through this whole motion and seeing that punch land. But if I go here, bam, quick. And you know what I mean? Like this is, you can see it coming. You can see my shoulder rotate, my hip rotate. You see a lot of it coming versus a jab right here, then a 2 coming next. Like, and Moses really understood that. Just go up the middle, down the middle, just stay in the middle, then eventually do a looping shot. Now, I did research some of the stats right now. The name that Moses wanted was Filip Hrgović. He said this was supposed to be the fight for Filip Hrgović. If I'm correct, maybe he meant the next fight, but he was supposed to fight Filip Hrgović. That never happened because now Hrgović is fighting Dave Allen on May 19th. That's going to be a fun fight. I love Dave Allen. I also don't understand how after a loss, he's fighting a number 4. He's fighting a bigger ranked guy. According to the WBA, Filip Hrgović is ranked at number 4. Moses is 1. But then also, I can't see a Martin Bakole. He's ranked number 7. I think that's another great stepping stone within the top 10. We're going to keep moving the momentum and stuff like that. I don't see why not. If Hrgović is not available, I think a Martin Bakole fight would be great. Great test, great name. Like I said, they're looking at names. There's other people in the rankings, but the name value and the status it can give Moses when he defeats them doesn't help him a lot. It doesn't help his stardom a lot. So you have to look at the name value a little more than their ranking to an extent. Like they're not going to go like a Deontay Wilder and he's not ranked. You know what I mean? But at the WBO, number 2 ranked, again, is Filip Hrgović. Number 3, Daniel Dubois, and I like that fight, but we'll get into that in a sec. And number 5 is Yale Zane. And AJ is at number 4 in the WBA, but he's not stepping anywhere near Itauma on his retirement tour. But yeah, again, Filip Hrgović. I think that's possible. Just because of the fact, it really just depends on how hurt Hrgović is after the fight with Dave Allen. If he needs time to recover, how long the suspension is, and stuff like that. Because he could just hop back in it if they really push it to late July or maybe even the beginning of August. You got a lot of time. You could take a week off and then get back into camp and you're good to go. But for the argument's sake, they sound pretty serious and set on the July timestamp. So it's a possibility. It's a very big possibility, but I don't want to put all my chips in that. They didn't mention, I do also want to mention before I kind of dive into everyone else, they mentioned the possibility of Usyk, similar situation to AJ. I don't think we're getting that fight. I think Usyk is going to go for Caballero just because everyone keeps chirping at him about Caballero more than Moses, honestly. And just fair enough, he deserves a shot, stuff like that. It could have been Joseph Parker, but he screwed up his whole career by being addicted to coke. So we also have Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is a fight I don't want to see next because now he's fighting Fabio Wardley. I don't think we're getting that fight next because he's fighting Wardley May 9th. And that fight, everyone's coming out with injuries or some type of brain damage. And if you guys didn't know, Fabio Wardley and Moses Itauma are stablemates. They're good friends, so they're never going to fight. If Dubois wins, do that fight next. I think that's a better fight than the Filip Hrgovic fight. Status-wise, for sure, but competition-wise, no. I think, obviously, Hrgovic is a better boxer, in my opinion, than Dubois, but Dubois' power is insane, and that can be a real equalizer in this fight. Again, we'll see. A lot of these fights really depend on injury. The fights I really want to see, Dubois for sure. That's the one I really want to see. I think the lead-up would be so funny. Dave Allen or Hrgovic, the winner of that fight, either one. You know, it's right there. Go ahead and make the fight that Itauma wanted initially. But if Allen gets the upset, that's a great fight to make. You know, not a lot of people talking about Caballero. Let's get him in there. I don't know if it's the next fight, honestly. That'd be insane if it was, just, you know, jumping the gun. But I think it's the fight after whatever July fight will be. But this is what I believe is most likely going to happen. I think it's going to either be Martin Bakole next or Zalil Zain, based off the fact neither of them have had a recent fight. There's really no injuries they're holding on to. They're fresh. They're replenished. They're recovered. They're good to go. They put them in the camp and they're good to go. So I think those are the most sensible fights to happen next for this July slot that they want. Zalil Zain, I think, is the better opponent out of those two. But again, Martin Bakole is going to stand in Bain, so I'm okay with either of those fights. Truthfully, it's another step in the right direction of, you know, moving up the ranks and moving up to get that world title shot, blah, blah, blah. The main reason I'm choosing Martin Bakole or Zalil Zain, it's just the recovery time. The heavyweight scene right now is in a huge, like, every week for the next, like, 5-6 weeks pretty much, we're like heavyweight main events, big names, new stars, old stars, whatever. All the heavyweights are fighting right now, so it's a little hard to make a definitive choice. Regardless, I'm okay with any of these fights happening. If it's Dubois, Allen, Hrgovic, Caballero, Martin Bakole, Zalil Zain, I'm okay with any of these fights. I'm okay with anyone. But I do believe it's going to be Bakole next or Zalil Zain. But that is just my prediction. I could be absolutely wrong. Go ahead, let me know in the comment section below who you think Moses Itauma is going to be fighting next. And obviously, before you head out, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bum, bum, bum.